Everybody talks about real estate and you hear so many things coming out of so many people's mouths. But how do you know what is real and what is a myth? Today, I'm going to be going over the 5 top myths of the real estate industry. And you want to watch this video to the very end because all 5 are super important if you are thinking about buying or selling real estate in today's market. By the way, my name is Zamira Dunnet and I'm a local real estate agent right here in the GTA, and I'm with eXp Realty. And if you have any questions about the real estate market right here in the GTA, please go ahead and reach out. My contact information is right there in the description, or you can just book an appointment with me right here on my calendar app. The link is right there at the bottom as well. And we can set up 30 minutes of time for you and me just to go over any questions that you have about today's real estate market. Now let's jump right into the myths. Number 1 is super important. Everyone thinks you have to put 20% down to purchase a property. Did you know that isn't true? People also think that you have to be a first-time home buyer to use the minimum down payment, and that isn't true either. The way that it works is that the minimum down payment is for anybody that uses the property to become their primary residence. If you are going to move into the unit, even if you have another property that you are keeping and you're going to rent that out, as long as the property that you are purchasing becomes your primary residence, you can put the minimum down payment. Now, what is the minimum down payment? The way that it works is if you are purchasing any property under $1 million, so the maximum is $999,999, you can put 5% for the first $500,000. So that 500 equals $25,000. And then anything additional left over is 10%. So let's say you're purchasing at 800,000, that would be 25,000 for the first 500 and 30,000 for the leftover 300,000 of that $800,000. So your minimum down payment would be $55,000. A large down payment like 20% does help you if you are purchasing a property because it brings down your mortgage amount that you are borrowing from the lender as well as your monthly payments. But if you are chasing the market, trying to keep up with the current prices, saving 20% of $800,000 is way harder than saving the minimum down payment. So they give you the ability to put a lesser amount of a down payment, which gives you a higher mortgage amount and higher monthly payments. But if you can do it and you feel comfortable with the numbers of what your monthly mortgage payments are going to be, I would take that step. Myth number 2 is you need the perfect credit score to be able to get a mortgage from a lender. Again, that is not true. Most A lenders, so Scotiabank, TD, all the big banks, as well as monolines and credit unions that are up there in the A lender space, are looking at about a 680 credit score. And even if you have a lower credit score than 680, you still have the ability to go towards a B lender. I know everyone's like, oh, B lenders, like they're not the best to go with. But honestly, their interest rates are just a little bit higher to get a mortgage. Now, that sounds like, oh my gosh, I don't want a higher interest rate. Interest rates are already high. But if you break down the difference of, let's say, a 4.99 interest rate and a 5.5 interest rate, the difference per month is maybe $50 to $80. There is not that much of a difference if it's going to get you a mortgage today. Now, I have a video right here that goes over ways to increase your credit score. If you are really worried about your credit score and not having a 680 and going with an A lender, watch this video because this video helps you figure out the best ways to increase your credit score in a short amount of time. But honestly, if you are in today's market where we are in a situation where buyers are jumping back in the market, but you have the ability to purchase a home and your credit score is just a little less than 680, I would think about going with a B lender. Speaking to a mortgage agent that can break down the differences between the two will really get you to understand what the differences are between the two and where there are benefits and negatives with both options. My husband is a mortgage agent. His phone number is right there in the description as well. You can reach out to him at any time just to ask him a question. You're not locked in any way. Knowledge is key, and he is really good at just providing information to people so that they can figure out what their best steps and their best actions are. So please go ahead and reach out to him as well, just to understand the difference and if it is possible for you to move forward with purchasing a home with the credit score you currently have. Myth number 3 is you should always wait for the market to improve before you do any real estate transactions. You really have to think about this one because there is no easy way to time the market. People that were trying to time the market and wait for the lowest price possible, the market just flipped like so fast in January. We went through multiple months where the interest rate did not increase or decrease. And those people that were waiting to see what happened in January, as soon as that announcement went out that we were holding rates again, somehow that made people jump back into the market, and no one could time that. So you cannot time the market. Now, a lot of people are waiting for interest rates to come down. When that happens, all those buyers that are waiting are going to jump into the market. We're already seeing a pickup currently. So you can't just wait for interest rates to go down to then jump into the market and try to time the market, because that will cause the prices of homes to increase. You need to do it when you are ready. If you speak to a mortgage agent, you hear what your monthly mortgage payments are going to be at the price that you were thinking about purchasing at, and you feel comfortable with those numbers, it's your circumstances that you need to figure out to be able to get into the market. Honestly, people that bought in February of 2022 are probably like, damn, I shouldn't have bought when I did because the market just dropped right after February of 2022. But they didn't time the market. They got in when they felt it was perfect time for them. Myth number 4. Any renovation that you do in your house is going to increase the value of your property. Now, this is a myth because it depends on the renovations that you're doing. Like, let's say you go and you paint your whole house, then you do like a little bit of kitchen renovation. You're not breaking down walls, throwing money left, right, and center, because if you do take a step like this, you may be putting more money into the renovation that you make, and you may not increase the amount of value in your home with the amount of money you just spent. So you really have to look at the style of renovation that you're doing, speak to a real estate professional, find out what should be done and what can go and still have value in that property. So really figure out what needs to be done. A fresh coat of paint makes a home look almost brand new just with something like small like that. Don't be removing your flooring and putting new flooring down. Honestly, like that stuff is such a high cost, and it does not give you the same value and increase of your property. So that is not something I would suggest to do. So again, speak to a professional, figure out what those things are to do that can increase your property value, that is low cost, that can give you a lot of return on investment. Last but not least, myth number 5. You do not need a real estate agent to complete transactions in real estate. This is a huge myth. The only reason I say this is, yes, you are able to sell and buy real estate by yourself. You can do that. But I will tell you right now, the amount of money that you are leaving on the table by not using a real estate agent is bigger than you think. And the amount of work that goes into the transaction, making sure that you are legally protected through the entire process, making sure that you have everything in the documents that need to be there. There is just so much involved in our job that you really want someone by your side that is going through every step for you, that you don't have to worry about, that is protecting you and is only working in your best interest and nobody else's. I know you're probably thinking, well, I can save on the commission. But honestly, most people that are trying to purchase a property without a real estate agent is looking for a deal. They're trying to like lowball as much as possible because they know the seller is not paying the real estate agent for the services. Us agents are here to protect you to the best of our ability. We are going to guide you on what needs to be done in your home or what to look for when trying to purchase a home. There are so many experiences that I've had, that I've seen up front, that have put red flags in my mind that you may not notice on your own. I don't want to try to scare you. I'm just saying you need to get a professional. You need to go through every step correctly. But doing this by yourself is just the most difficult, stressful process ever. And having an agent that protects you, especially as a buyer, because a buyer does not pay for the services of a real estate agent, the seller does. You want that protection while you are making one of the biggest transactions in your entire life. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I really hope the information that I provided does give you clarity on some of these myths that are out there. I make a video like this that is informative every single week, and I make a monthly market update every single month. So please go ahead, like this video if you like the information I provided, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and we will see you guys all next week.